As you're already aware, I have been providing you with all the juicy details regarding Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade marriage. You better get ready because I have some shocking news that will leave you speechless. Siohvaughn, Dwayne Wade's ex-wife and the mother of his first 2 children, has just joined a group chat and is spitting tea on Gabrielle and him. I promise you, it's completely insane. Now that Siohvaughn presented a strong case for her allegation that Gabrielle encouraged her daughter, Zaya, to undergo a gender change, it offers some insightful information, and she didn't hold back. Siohvaughn outright accused Gabrielle of manipulating Zaya and keeping her away from her biological mother. I promise to share every astounding detail of the incredible drama that is happening. Well, so it's easy to get lost in all the updates on this whole Gabrielle Union versus Dwayne Wade story. I promise there have been a ton of them. In case you missed the tea, Dwayne and Gabrielle are no longer together following yet another adultery incident. According to a recent report from the gossip blog Dwyane, Dwayne is very close to a woman, not Gabrielle, wrote Dwyane. During the 2 hours I was there, he was seen approaching her closely and having a very private conversation with her. On Instagram, Gabrielle also shares some thought-provoking content, such as the statement, "There's only room for evolution when clarity, youth, and transparency are present. I do everything for her tranquility," Gabrielle wrote with a photo of their daughter on her Snapchat. They added that I received a message from someone else saying that Dwayne prefers to pose with the kids rather than Gabrielle. Gabrielle hasn't shared any photos of their other child, only ones of their daughter. They will be like Will and Jada if they ever separate, a source stated. If need be, they will maintain a unified front for years while keeping things quiet and leading separate lives. This, of course, completely exposed the drama, and insiders began to leak rumors that Dwayne was on the disabled list and that Gabrielle had taken up his beard. Given that Jaguar R leaked the tea the previous year, this really shouldn't come as a huge surprise. Now that everyone is aware of the most recent events, let's discuss the accusations that Siohvaughn, the ex-wife of Dwayne Wade, is making, particularly with regard to Gabrielle. There has been a lot of discussion concerning Zaya's future ever since we learned about Dwayne and Gabrielle's breakup. You see, Zaya and Gabrielle have always had a very close relationship, so people have been concerned about how she will handle this whole situation now that Gabrielle won't be in her life all the time. This is especially true given that she is going through a very public transformation with millions of people watching her every move. Naturally, there have been many different perspectives on the subject. However, Siohvaughn asserts that Zaya was initially put in this predicament because Gabrielle reportedly coerced her into changing her identity. So what now? Siohvaughn claimed that although Gabrielle desired the attention that accompanies having a kid on the LGBTQ spectrum, she was unwilling to put her daughter in the limelight, so it was said that she resorted to Zaya. Furthermore, according to Siohvaughn, Gabrielle started gently coercing Zaya, sowing doubtful seeds in her mind until she came to believe that she sincerely wanted to identify as a trans woman. Zaya is still extremely young and doesn't fully comprehend all of this stuff about gender identity. Alright, so as not to offend anyone, but I had to share with you what Siohvaughn has to say about the entire thing. However, Dwayne claims that Zaya has always known in her heart of hearts that she was destined to be a female and that she bravely came forth with this knowledge when she thought the time was appropriate. Let's now discuss Siohvaughn's assessment of the circumstances. She is adamant that Dwayne and Gabrielle are fabricating information to cover up the truth, in order to get attention and notoriety. She claims they are pressuring Zaya into something she may not actually want. Siohvaughn even went so far as to speculate that Dwayne might be achieving a personal goal or living vicariously through Zaya. Not to be forgotten are the Dwayne rumors over the last few weeks. He even freely acknowledged having engaged in transvestism in the past. Did Dwayne always harbor a secret desire to transition into a trans woman? Is this why he's pushing Zaya to be someone she's not physiologically, on top of being on the DL? If this is accurate, you all want to know what the really problematic aspect of this whole thing is. Siohvaughn revealed some shocking details about how Dwayne and Gabrielle kept her apart from Zaya during the entire situation. She said that Gabrielle went to tremendous measures to keep Siohvaughn from ever seeing Zaya, and that she was so consumed with becoming Zaya's mother that she stopped Dwayne from co-parenting with her. However, Siohvaughn had even more tea to spill when she revealed that To hear her tell it, Gabrielle not only cheated on Siohvaughn with Dwayne during their marriage, but also made a great deal of effort to keep Siohvaughn away from her own kids. Gabrielle presented herself as the ideal stepmother, whereas Siohvaughn was represented as the insane, envious, and poisonous ex-wife who also lacked maternal skills. Therefore, Zaya was essentially cut off from her true mother, Siohvaughn, during the process of coming out to her friends and family. Now, do all of you recall that awkward exchange from last year, or early this year when Dwayne made it known that he intended to change Zaya's name and gender on all official records? Siohvaughn was adamantly against this decision, but Gabrielle and Dwayne twisted it to make her appear transphobic and suggest that she couldn't embrace Zaya for who she really was, a female. It's important to note that Dwayne rarely discusses personal matters in public, so the fact that he made this drama public so fast tends to imply that it was merely a publicity stunt, unless Siohvaughn explicitly states otherwise. Since this must be the new way of parenting, I guess I have to address these allegations here, which is a shame, Dwayne added in his statement. A social media post has been made about me pressuring our 15-year-old daughter to do something against her will and to be someone she's not. These are damaging and grave accusations that have harmed our kids. Zaya and all of our kids would never be forced to do anything against their will by anyone in our home, much less force them to adopt a certain identity. For my family, and most definitely not for Zaya, this is not a game. This time, I'm not going to sit idly by and let her make light of my commitment to my family. And allow me to explain everything to you. Siohvaughn wasn't entirely opposed to Zaya accepting her identity as a transgender person. She supported Zaya's quest wholeheartedly, but her main argument was to allow Zaya to make this important life decision on her own, free from the influence of Gabrielle and Dwayne when she is mature enough to understand and make her own decisions. Siohvaughn reportedly has no problem with Zaya's gender identification or sexual orientation. She merely requested that the legal procedures be postponed until after Zaya became 18. What's the urgency, really? She couldn't legally sign anything without her parents' approval. However, there's more to this tale since Siohvaughn was not happy with Gabrielle's approach to it. She believed that Gabrielle's fixation with publicity was the main factor. Considerably for adults, going through a gender transition is a highly private and frequently difficult experience, and it gets considerably more problematic when it's happening in the public view. Since Siohvaughn was aware of this, she preferred that Zaya go through this procedure in privacy. Siohvaughn asserts that Dwayne and Gabrielle had distinct goals. Nevertheless, they seem to be taking advantage of the circumstances to garner as much attention as possible. Just be honest. Zaya is only 15. Therefore, it's absurd that she has experienced such a high volume of internet hostility since coming out. Anybody would find it overwhelming, much less a teenager. However, Siohvaughn claimed that through contacts and marketing opportunities, including but not limited to agreements with Disney, they are in a position to benefit from the minor child's name and gender change with many corporations. I worry that they might be putting pressure on our child to proceed with the name and gender change, so they can take advantage of the financial opportunities he has been given by companies. She went on, "They informed me that there would be endorsements and contracts associated with that, and they intended to make our child extremely famous due to the name and gender issues. Disney was a potential company, and Zaya, who was present at the time, responded that other companies were also interested. Not only that, but a number of celebrities have also voiced their opinions about the same issue. Dwayne received criticism from rapper Boosie for utilizing Zaya for the cloud. Then Boosie pleaded with Dwayne not to break up with Zaya because she was still very young and might grow up and fall in love with a girl, accusing him of wanting to do just that. With a clap in return, Gabrielle admonished him to shut up about her family and mind his own business. As of early, Gabrielle has been getting a lot of recognition for providing Zaya with a solid support system, and her admirers are raving about how amazing her stepmothership is. They claim that Zaya is extremely fortunate to have her support. Gabrielle has publicly embraced this story and continues to talk about the kind of relationship she has with Zaya. "I'm fortunate to have Zaya as my bonus daughter," she remarked. "Although I did not give birth to her, I have never felt a stronger sense of belonging to a community or a greater sense of purpose as one of the adults in her village. standing 10 toes below and occasionally leading in front of her. That's all very sweet and heartfelt, but have you noticed that Gabrielle has been talking a lot about Zaya lately? She and Dwayne appear to have gone through a difficult period in their marriage, as I previously noted, and they are reportedly no longer together. Unfortunately, it looks like Gabrielle has turned her attention away from Zaya, so she could be caught in the crossfire. She poses as though the image doesn't even include her. As you can see, this one is certainly making waves in the streets. People have been commenting on it, saying things like, "I felt strongly that Gabrielle had a lot to do with his transition. And sometimes the child looks so miserable while standing with them. Gabrielle seemed like pure evil because of how dark she was. She even began to change, appearing very black. I never liked how Gabrielle inserted herself into another woman and man's child, and what decisions they made regarding that child," remarked a different commenter. Zaya was handled by Dwayne and his ex. Siohvaughn had a point. She ought to have waited till she was of legal age, but she was too young to make such a significant choice in order to gain favor. Gabrielle was determined to have a child and stepchild, which she flaunted on television. And I think the reason Dwayne was so supportive of his son's decision to transition to a female was that, deep down, he wished he had been able to do that himself at that age. This is ridiculous. Everyone. But what are your thoughts on all of this, along with Siohvaughn's assertions? Do you believe she's telling the truth about Zaya being tricked, or do you believe she's simply a resentful ex trying to get Dwayne and Gabrielle into additional problems on top of everything else that's already going on? After reading this, please leave a comment below with your ideas.